Anansi, often depicted as a spider, is one of the most iconic characters in African folklore. Originating from the Akan people of Ghana, Anansi is both a trickster and a culture hero, embodying wisdom, wit, and sometimes mischief. His tales have transcended generations, spreading across the Atlantic during the transatlantic slave trade and becoming an integral part of Caribbean and African American storytelling traditions. But who is Anansi, and why has his legend endured for so long? Long ago, the sky god Niam decided to gather all the world's wisdom into a single pot and entrusted it to Anansi. Niam believed that Anansi, being clever and resourceful, would know how to share the wisdom wisely among humanity. But as soon as Anansi received the pot, he became greedy. Anansi thought, "Why should I share this wisdom with others? If I keep it all for myself, I'll be the wisest creature in the world." He decided to hide the pot where no one could find it. Anansi climbed a tall tree, intending to secure the pot at the very top. However, there was a problem. He was carrying the pot in front of him, tied around his neck and hanging over his belly. This awkward position made it difficult for him to climb the tree. Every time he tried, the pot got in the way, causing him to slip and struggle. As Anansi fumbled, his son, Tikuma, stood below, watching him with amusement. Finally, Tikuma couldn't hold back and said, "Father, if you tie the pot on your back instead of your front, you'll be able to climb the tree easily." Anansi paused and realized that his son was right. Feeling embarrassed, he thought, "Here I am, holding all the wisdom of the world, yet my own son had to teach me something so simple." Out of frustration, Anansi decided that wisdom was too much trouble to hoard. He tipped the pot over, spilling its contents, and the wisdom scattered across the earth. People everywhere picked it up, each gaining a piece. This is why no one person has all the wisdom in the world. Each of us holds just a fragment. The roots of Anansi's stories can be traced back to the Akan people of West Africa. In their oral traditions, Anansi is more than just a spider. He is a symbol of cunning and resourcefulness. The name Anansi means spider in Akan, and his stories are known as Anansism, or spider tales. These tales often served as a medium to pass down moral lessons, cultural values, and historical knowledge. As enslaved Africans were brought to the Americas, they carried Anansi stories with them, adapting them to new environments and blending them with local traditions. Today, Anansi is a beloved figure in folklore from Jamaica to Suriname. Anansi's defining characteristic is his role as a trickster. He is not the strongest or the bravest, but he is clever, always finding creative ways to outsmart his adversaries. In many stories, he uses his wit to solve problems, often bending the rules or exploiting the weaknesses of others. This makes him a relatable and endearing character, especially to those who value intelligence over brute strength. However, Anansi's cunning often backfires, serving as a reminder of the consequences of greed, deceit, or hubris. One of the most famous tales explains how Anansi became the keeper of all stories. In this legend, the sky god Niam owned all the world's stories. Anansi wanted to bring them to humanity, but Niam set a seemingly impossible price. Anansi had to capture 4 dangerous creatures: the python, the leopard, the hornet, and the fairy. Using his intelligence, Anansi devised clever traps for each creature. For example, he tricked the python into tying itself up to measure its length and used a gourd to trap the hornet. Once he succeeded, Niam honored the deal, and Anansi shared the stories with the world. This tale underscores the value of perseverance and ingenuity. Anansi's stories often carry moral lessons. While he is a trickster, his actions usually reflect human flaws and virtues. For instance, some tales warn against greed or selfishness, showing how Anansi's schemes sometimes lead to unintended consequences. In other stories, Anansi's cleverness is portrayed as a positive trait, emphasizing the importance of thinking critically and creatively. These dualities make Anansi a complex and multifaceted character, allowing his stories to resonate with diverse audiences. When enslaved Africans brought Anansi's tales to the Caribbean, the stories evolved to reflect the new cultural landscape. In Jamaica, Anansi became known as Brother Anansi and was celebrated in storytelling sessions known as Anansi Time. These tales became a source of resilience and resistance, allowing enslaved people to preserve their heritage and find solace in humor and wit. Today, Anansi remains a popular figure in Caribbean folklore, symbolizing the triumph of cleverness and adaptability in the face of adversity. Anansi's legacy also took root in African American folklore. In the United States, his character merged with other trickster figures, such as Brer Rabbit. These stories, often told by enslaved Africans and their descendants, served as allegories for survival and resistance. Anansi's tales became a way to critique authority and celebrate the ingenuity of marginalized communities. His enduring presence in African American culture highlights the power of storytelling as a tool for empowerment. Anansi's influence extends beyond traditional folklore into modern literature, music, and media. He appears in books such as Neil Gaiman's American Gods and Anansi Boys, where he is reimagined as a charismatic and mischievous deity. In popular culture, Anansi symbolizes creativity and resistance, resonating with audiences seeking relatable heroes. His stories have also inspired animated shows, stage plays, and educational programs, ensuring that new generations continue to learn about his adventures. The tales of Anansi the Spider are more than just entertaining stories. They are profound reflections of human nature. Through his wit and trickery, Anansi teaches us to value intelligence, resourcefulness, and adaptability. At the same time, his missteps remind us of the consequences of greed and dishonesty. Anansi's stories encourage us to embrace our creativity and use it to navigate challenges, just as he did. As we celebrate the enduring legacy of Anansi, we are reminded of the timeless power of storytelling to inspire, educate, and connect us across cultures and generations.